Hi, boys and girls. We've been talking a lot about gingerbread today, and I wanted to read you this story. It's called Gingerbread Baby. Raise your hand if you've seen it. Raise your hand if you've heard it. Maybe. Gingerbread Baby. And I wanted to show you something that I found in my cabinet. It is a gingerbread cookie cutter. And to make gingerbread babies, you have to roll out the dough and place it on top of the dough and push down. And when you push down, it makes the cut so that when you pull it up, sometimes you give it a little shake. When you pull it up, it will have the shape that you cut out. You may have done that before with Play-Doh, or maybe you've actually done it with cookie dough with someone at your house. So we are going to read the story, The Gingerbread Baby, and it's by Jan Brett. She writes lots of good stories, and you probably have seen some of her other stories before. Here's the gingerbread house. It was cold outside and warm inside. A fine day for gingerbread, thought Maddie. Maddie's mother put the big blue bowl on the table and lit the stove. Maddie took down a worn-looking cookbook with old-fashioned writing on the cover. He opened it up to the page that said, Gingerbread Baby. And in this story, it's really neat because it has pictures on the side of the cutout. And if you look closely through it, it gives you a hint as to what's going to happen on the next page. So if you look at this one, you can see that there's a book on the next page. So when I read the next page, it's probably going to have something to do with a book. They measured and mixed. Maddie rolled the dough into the shape of a gingerbread boy, and they popped him into the oven. Bake a full 8 minutes. No more, no less. Do not peek. The recipe read. Maddie listened to the clock. Tick, tock, tick. 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4, 5. Maddie couldn't wait any longer. He opened up the oven door to take a peek. Instead of a gingerbread boy, out jumped a gingerbread baby. He pranced around the big blue bowl. I'm the gingerbread baby, fresh from the pan. If you want me, catch me if you can. He's teasing, isn't he? Oh, there's the cutout that I was talking about. See? If you push down, that's what it would look like. Maddie's mother reached for the gingerbread baby and put him back into the oven. But he ran all around the kitchen. The door opened and in came Maddie's father. What's that delicious smell? He asked, as the gingerbread baby tumbled through his legs and out into the yard. Oh my goodness. Tricky little guy. He ran by the tabby cat and she twitched her tail and sprang at him. They rumbled and tumbled, but the gingerbread baby came out on top. He ran toward the garden wall. The dog caught a whiff of the tasty ginger and sniffed along behind him. But the gingerbread baby was halfway up when the dog caught up. He barked and barked as the gingerbread baby climbed right over the wall. Maddie was still inside. He heard his mother and father yelling. He heard a cat meowing and a dog barking. And he heard the gingerbread baby shouting, Catch me if you can. Maddie opened up the worn-looking cookbook for the second time. Meanwhile, the gingerbread baby wheeled on down at the path and into the barn. The goats looked up as he somersaulted across their backs. The last one tried to catch him, but the gingerbread baby was too fast. He's so sneaky. Martha and Madeline were standing by the well when the gingerbread baby stopped to take a drink. They looked at each other and winked. Martha started to talk to the gingerbread baby while Madeline tiptoed up from behind with the bucket. But they couldn't fool that gingerbread baby. Oh, the plan didn't work. They're trying to catch him. He took a braid from Martha and a braid from Madeline, and he tied them in a knot and ran down the road. Oh my goodness, look at this guy. I'm going to get closer. Look at him. He's tying their hair together. Back in the house, Maddie stirred, mixed, and rolled the dough. He shaped it and put it into a pan in the oven. I wonder why he's making another one. Tick-tock, tick-tock. 8 long minutes. This time, he did not peek. I will catch him if I can, Maddie said to himself. As he was bouncing along, the gingerbread baby saw a farm wagon just ahead. He jumped in and settled down for the ride. Next to him was Mama Pig. The smell of the gingerbread was too much for her. She tossed him high in the air, closed her eyes, and opened her mouth. But the gingerbread baby twisted in the air and came down and landed right on her porky snout. I'm the gingerbread baby, too quick for mother and father, too fast for the cat, the dog, and the goats, too clever for Martha and Madeline, too smart for Mama Pig. Who's left? Catch me if you can. Oh, he's really taunting, isn't he? Feeling smug, the gingerbread baby strolled along by himself until he came to a bridge that crossed over the village. Just as he got to the middle, he heard running feet behind him, and he saw a crowd of villagers ahead of him. The gingerbread baby was trapped. He jumped up onto the railing. He backflipped through the air, and he landed on a chunk of ice floating down the river. Can you see him? It's really small down here. Here he goes, flipping around. He's going to land right on a chunk that's flying down the river. The ice bobbed along with the gingerbread baby dancing on top, and he sang in a loud voice, "Look at me, what do you see? The best gingerbread baby ever." Until he got his feet cold, and then he jumped ashore. Who was that watching from the trees? It was a fox. He crept up behind Gingerbread Baby, ready to eat him up. But the fox couldn't help himself, and he licked his chops. Smack, smack. The Gingerbread Baby heard him, and he ran as fast as he could. Oh my, I wonder if he's going to get away. Just when the fox was catching up, the gingerbread baby saw the milk and cheese man with his can of milk. Perfect place to hide, he thought. He lifted the lid and lowered himself inside. And that is a milk container. That's how you used to get your milk. The milkman would come around and put milk in jars for you from this big container. Ha ha, hee hee, you'll never find me, said the gingerbread baby. Catch me if you can. The milk and cheese man heard the gingerbread baby's voice. Who's meddling in my milk? He shouted, and he lifted the lid. But the gingerbread baby was ready. He jumped up and he tweaked his nose. Do you see him? Tweaking his nose means he pinched it. Psst, pinched his nose. Now the milk and cheese man, the fox and the villagers and Mama Pig and Martha and Madeline and the bleeding goats, the barking dog, the meowing cat, the father, the mother were all after Gingerbread Baby. And they were getting closer, and the Gingerbread Baby knew it. The brash baby was not as peppy and proud as he had been. He sniffed a familiar smell and he followed his nose into the woods. I wonder where he's headed. What are they going to find in the woods? Can't wait to find out. He couldn't believe what he saw. There, in the middle of a clearing, was a gingerbread house. It was frosted with sugar. It was covered with candy. And the doors were peppermint handles. And they were wide open. The gingerbread baby clapped his hands with glee and he ran into the house. In a tick-tock-tick, everyone arrived in the clearing, but all they found were bits of frosting, peppermint, and a few crumbs. The father explained, "The gingerbread baby has finally met his match." "I wonder who it was," the mother said. Let's go home and tell Maddie." So they think the gingerbread baby got eaten up by something. "Hello, Maddie," his father said when they got home. "We never catch the gingerbread baby. All we found were some crumbs in the snow." "I see you've been busy," said his mother, looking at the gingerbread house Maddie was holding. "Too bad we never caught that gingerbread baby." "Too bad," Maddie said. Who did catch the gingerbread baby? Only Maddie could hear the tiny voice from inside the gingerbread house. Oh, let's open it up and see who's in there. We know who it is, don't we? "I'm the little gingerbread baby, lucky as can be, to be living in the house that Maddie made for me." Oh my gosh, he actually likes it in there. That's so nice. Look at that gingerbread house. The end. That was a great story. And maybe you could make a gingerbread baby sometime.